What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. Before we get into the video, if you are new, if you could click the like button, subscribe, and also share the video. Make any comments that you want to make down in the comment section down below as well, so we can have a conversation about everything. So, where to start then? That's 7 wins on the spin. 8 goals for Cree now for the season. 8 for Piru for the season. Dan James is just still doing Dan James things. We win the game 3-2. It's more stressful than what it should have been. Archie Gray is a phenomenal player. It's ridiculous that he is as good as he is at that age. And it was also nice to see him when obviously challenged and, you know, the guy started to have a go at him that he just stood up and was just like, yeah, whatever. I like that about him as well. He's not going to back down, which is what we want to see. Now, I do have an issue with the game. Overall, I kind of feel like it's the first time where we looked a little tired. Now, I'm not going to be uber critical, but you know, 3 games in a week is tough and it takes it out of you a little bit. You know, but a win's a win. There's not, you know, there's nothing else that you can do about that. You take the 3 points and you move on, and you've just got to keep doing what we're doing. But my issue is that within the game, it seemed like we, in the first half, anyways, even though we were in front, we lost control of the midfield at the start. It was almost what Borough were quite clearly doing, and they were quite good at it as well. I mean, fair play to them, they are a very, very good side, was that they were, or what they were trying to do is our press, they were trying to beat the press and then spring. And what they were trying to do was lull us to move the players forwards, or to move our players forwards, and then they would spring us. And they did that on a couple of occasions. And there was a couple of times, particularly within the first half, where just the midfield was getting overrun quite a bit. I thought Cameron didn't have his best game. Piru was not as good as what he was against Swansea. It's difficult because he then has to kind of be that bridging gap of where the space is in the midfield to be able to hold it down a little bit, and just to be able to block a little bit better. And I felt like we weren't doing that as well as what we should have been doing, you know, as the first half goes on. And, you know, we're 3-1 up, deservedly with the play that we'd had, but it was, you know, a tough game, a tough examination. I said before the game started that it wasn't going to be the walkover that everybody thought it was going to be. I didn't feel, not that everybody was saying it was a walkover. Borough are a very good side, a very, very good side. They should be in the playoffs, there or thereabouts, as the season wears on. There's no two ways about that. They have the players to do that. But with that being said, just for me, just little kind of individual errors. Pascal didn't have the best game ever. I put him at fault for the 3rd goal. Yes, I know it was a corner. Sorry, for their 2nd goal. Yes, I know it was a corner. However, had he not gone that high up the pitch to try and retrieve the ball, that whole process leading up to the corner would never have happened. It just would not have happened. And they wouldn't have scored just before half-time. And it would probably be a little bit more of an easier situation where we could sit back a little bit, play a little bit more of possession football and just break away. And then we probably would have scored a couple of extra goals in the second half. But, you know, you take a win as it is. It's disappointing that we go down to a goal early. Melee at fault for that one. You can't get beaten at your near post like that. However, with that being said, Borough will be upset about the fact that the 2 goals that they conceded were, you know, 5'6" Dan James and 5'5" Cree. Shouldn't be scoring with headers, particularly the Dan James one. What? But good responses again. We did exactly the same thing that we did against Swansea. We responded really well. And did what we needed to do to get ourselves back in front. Then we get the penalty, and glad to see Piru take it. I thought the penalty was exceptional. The keeper wasn't getting anywhere near that at all. Power right into the side netting, which is exactly what you want it to do. I thought the referee was appallingly bad. He was dishing out yellow cards for fun. Didn't think he had the best game. Didn't think he had good control over the game. There was a couple of instances where we should have had fouls they weren't given. Borough as well should have had a couple of fouls and they weren't given. But just kind of felt like he didn't really have proper control over the game. Dan James getting booked at the end as well, at the end of the second half, is, for me, that was just silliness. I can't work out why that went the way that it did. But it is what it is. It's just one of those things. We move on and we take it onto the next game. So that's now 25 points from a possible 30 at home. We're still sitting there in third. The top four starting to take shape a lot more now. And it's just down to games. It's the next 7 games that are going to kind of really determine the season. We've just got to keep getting those points and getting those points and getting those points. I think the thing that we'll always find annoying is that the start of this season was hampered by the absolute turncoats that just wanted away and wanted to go. So it just didn't do very well for us at the start, where games that we drew or we should have won, and games that we haven't won that we should have won, all of that kind of stuff. Just that little bit at the start of the season. It would have been nice, but we are where we are. We've just got to focus on Ipswich and just keep plugging away. That's all that we can do. Try not to, in fact, actually not even focus on Ipswich. You've just got to keep plugging away and just got to get at it. Archie Gray is ridiculous at the fact that he is 17 and he is that good at football. Every little thing that he did today was good. Couple of stray passes, so not every little thing. However, with that being said, I thought he was really leggy on Wednesday night. I didn't think he had his best game at all. Today was his best game by a country mile. Just brilliant play, just brilliant in terms of his all-round play and how he did, and the way that he did certain things, and the way that he, brought the ball out, the way that he evaded people. He's just got such a good footballing brain, and he's a strong lad. For 17, he's a strong lad as well. He's really gotten his man strength in these first couple of months, even though to say that he's still 17. And he's just, for me, he's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, it was nice to see the real Slim Shady come on as well. I would have loved it if he'd have scored, but right at the very, very end, but it was nice to see him come on, I suppose. Nonto did all right when he came on as well. Overall, it like I said, it was more fraught than what it should have been, but it's just one of those situations that I don't think the red card really changed anything that much. What they were doing is they were lulling us into a false sense of security in terms of sitting so high. I remember tweeting about it on quite a number of occasions during the second half. Just as the game was closing, we were starting to move too high up, and you could see what Borough were trying to do. They were hoping to spring us, just to get a foot in and spring us, and they nearly did with the one that came off of the post. Now, it comes off of the post because Stroik puts in just a great block, and then it comes back off of Rodon because he puts himself on the line. And Rodon, again, if we don't buy him outright in January, that's an absolutely criminal offence as far as I'm concerned. Rutter, who I always give praise to and always think is just a phenomenally good player, the second half decision-making from Rutter, it's the first time in a long time where it's not been on game compared to how he's played in other games for me. He just stray passes, wrong decision making. He was lucky in terms of yellow card because he put a couple of fouls in after getting a yellow card, and you kind of think to yourself, oh, just calm it down. But overall, looked a little bit tired for me. I wouldn't be surprised if he's rested at some point soon. He's played a lot of football. Just looked a little bit leggy. But overall, we battled it and we did quite well. We always play not the best against 10 men. That's just an historical fact. That's just the way that we are. Can't complain with their red card whatsoever at all. You take stupid chances, you win stupid prizes. You can't lunge in like that if somebody's going to get past. And the wingers do their job, which is getting past people while they're all getting fouled and everything. Kind of felt for the central defender when they came on for our penalty, sort of, where it was just funny watching him try to Superman Superman Rutter over because he just did him completely in the first half, and then Clark just get back here, and then he just falls over. But can't complain. I wish Farke would make substitutions a little bit sooner sometimes. The 80th minute, I think, was a little bit too late, and I think we were a bit leggy by that point. But, what do I know? It was nice to see Farke during the match telling people where to go. There was a couple of points where he said to Rodon, get back, get in position, get on the halfway line, saying to Troy, get on the halfway line, making sure that people get back and where they need to be to see out the game as to where we wanted it to be. So, you rue that, missed chances, not finishing them and stuff. Rutter should have made it 4-1. He makes that 4-1. The game's completely different. The game's done and dusted if he makes it 4-1. But, it's just one of those things. We take 3 points as and when they come, and we just keep marching on as we are and just keep playing as we are. And overall, happy going to the rest of the weekend. Good. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please also don't forget to leave a like and comments. And that's going to do it for this one. I'm happy. So let's move on to the next one. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Take care.